Hi everyone, welcome in. Welcome to Perspective 1111. My name is Nikki, and this is a Ascension energy report for divine soulmates, twin souls, twin flames. The actual Ascension energies obviously are going to be in play for anybody in Ascension, no matter how you've been triggered um, into your awakening, right? Ascension is ascension, so these energies will apply. So first of all, guys, I want to apologize, okay, for not putting out a Sagittarius full moon report. I did get messages, they're right here. I had actually typed them all up on my laptop and was doing the video, and my microphone on my recording device conked out on me. And then when I went to redo it, shit was hitting the fan for me. Some stuff was coming up and that I had to deal with. I couldn't use my regular phone because I had to have it on and be available to answer it when it rang. Like right away, I couldn't, it wasn't a situation where I could get back to somebody on it. So I had to have my phone on and available and handy at all times. I couldn't use my regular phone. So I was going to put them out over the weekend, and into the beginning of this week, I was going to put them out, and I started receiving messages for the new moon already, for the new moon and the solar eclipse, and experienced that energy, which was quite heavy, which was quite significant. So I was anchoring that in. According to my guidance, I am now, because this has been happening more over the last few months, several months maybe, more and more. Like I used to get my messages, maybe 3 or 4 days before. Now it's like 7 and sometimes 10 days before where I'm feeling this. And from what I'm getting from my guidance is I am now anchoring in the energy for the collective. So I don't know, that sounds pretty cool, but whatever. So anyway, the reason I'm saying this is because I have to go back to the messages for the Sag full moon. What I'm being told is these messages set the stage for the eclipse energies, is what I'm getting. Okay, so going back to the Sag full moon a couple of weeks ago, okay, in my meditation, when I was meditating on it, I was seeing a line of cars, and these cars were following a cop car. And then there was a cop car at the end of the line as well, and they had their lights going. And there was this big long line of cars in between that was following this front cop car. And it felt like a funeral procession, but it wasn't a funeral procession. The cop car pulled over, the front cop car pulled over, and all this line of cars pulled over behind it. And then the last cop car pulled over, and they both got out, and they were going down this line asking people like where they were going, why they were following them, that they had important business to take care of. And this line of cars, there was like, I don't know, 15, 20 cars in this line, was interfering and holding them up. And nobody knew where they were going. Everybody was just following the person ahead of them. And the front guy who was following the first cop car didn't even know why he was following the cop car. The cops were pointing out to all these people exits and roads, turns along the way that people missed, that had beautiful places to visit, beautiful scenery, wonderful experiences that people could have, Some of them were like amusement parks and water parks, and a lot of them were just really peaceful, serene places with beautiful views, somewhere you could just, sit with your love and talk and just enjoy the peace and the comfort and the serenity. And nobody was taking these turns into these places. They were just all following each other. So what I got from this was that the Sag full moon was going to be a lot, bringing in an energy of revealing patterns and programs that have been expectations, limitations, all these things that have been impressed upon us that we live our lives mindlessly through or in accordance of, that is very burdenous to us, that is not really a part of our path, not really a part of our soul purpose here, our life purpose here, our mission. But they're things that we adopt. It's parental programming, it's religious programming, societal programming, governmental programming, expectations and beliefs of other people that we adopt, right? They are impressed upon us and we take them on as if they are our own. But then we have a lot of inner conflict, because what our heart and our soul is directing us to do, is showing us what we need to do or where we need to go or the direction we need to take, conflicts with this expectation, this limitation, this belief, this programming that we have had. And that's what causes inner conflict, because there's resistance. And when there's resistance to something, it's inner conflict. So you always know what's right for you by being able to push away the fear and anxiety that comes usually in the lower chakras, like in the gut, right? And try and ignore that and really feel into your heart, because that's where your truth comes through. All your programs, etc., what it is that your family, relationships, all of it processes up in the body through your power center, your solar plexus, which is what disperses then into the heart. And your heart is where you discern the truth for yourself. So what you really feel you want to do in your heart is your truth. And then moving into the throat chakra, where you're able to express your truth. Okay, so it was really interesting to me that all the messages that came through in regards to the Sagittarius moon were about the energy coming in to set the tone for revealing these patterns. And when these energies come in, guys, okay, they don't come in and so for the next few days or that week you're going to be noticing these things due to that energy, and then whatever's done is done and it's over. We integrate this energy into our being. Okay, it comes in during these periods, and then we integrate it in through our auric field, through our energetic field, and we integrate it into our being. So then it becomes like a part of us, and it takes time to manifest out. So the awareness, the conscious awareness of these patterns and programs and things, you may be getting aha moments on in August, in September, you know what I mean? Because usually these cycles are like the 3-month periods. And some of these eclipses are actually connected to prior eclipses. This eclipse after the summer solstice is actually connected to the energy of an eclipse from the summer, near the summer solstice, right after the summer solstice in 2017. So 2017. So that's really cool, because when I found that out, I heard about that. When did I hear about that? I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I saw something or read something, And when I looked at what that eclipse was, I could see the relation. I could see how they would be related. But anyway, okay, so going back to the Sag moon. The Sag moon was all about bringing in this energy to reveal patterns, right? That's what I got in my vision. And then when I looked up what the Sag moon was bringing, which was actually after I had these messages and stuff, because like I said, the messages tend to come in like way earlier now. So I was getting these messages, which is what made me look up. And that's exactly what it was. It was bringing in revealing of patterns and programs and negative patterns and programs and stuff that you have, bringing that energy coming in to help push that into the awareness. So one of the messages I got was about really being in your heart, about the heart getting prepared to open more, acting more in accordance and in line with what your heart is telling you. Because when your heart lights up, that's your truth, right? When you meet somebody and your heart lights up, you come alive, it's because they're a part of your truth. They're a part of your path, right? So listening to the call of your heart, staying in your heart, will direct you to your truth, to your true home, to your true path. And keeping that heart light on all the time to help the divine masculine energy find his way through what the divine masculine energy is going through right now in their releases, to level up to the divine feminine energy, who has the awareness before him, right? Before the divine masculine energy. So really needing that light to be on and constant and consistent in order for the divine masculine energy to be able to see where he's going, see where home is. And it was interesting because this came in with, or the song that came in right after it to depict it, because I always get a song to give me like some sort of context of the messages that I get, was Heartlight by Neil Diamond from the movie E.T. Turn on your heart light, let it shine wherever you go. Yeah, so that was really cool because in the movie, E.T.'s heart lights up when his family is close. It gives him direction and comfort and purpose, understanding and clarity, right? And it lights up when his true family is near. That's how he knew they were coming. His heart would start glowing. So if you're a little bit older and you haven't seen that movie, I suggest you see that movie. And then I was getting messages about the divine masculine energetically starting to become more and more aware. So, and some of the archetypes getting a little bit more conscious awareness, starting to feel the call of their heart, the call of their soul more and more, starting to feel the divine feminine energy more and more. And at least at an energetic level, starting to question these programs, starting to question these limitations that they have been living by, right? And wanting to change, feeling the desire more and more to follow that heart, which is leading them to their divine mission, to their divine plan, their divine purpose here, their divine partner, right? And that the Sag full moon was planting, watering, and growing these seeds that have been planted, and opening up this heart, opening up this heart space more and more for the divine masculine to be able to move closer into his soul path, move closer to his divine partner, his twin, his divine mission to unite with his divine partner, right? Being able to take action in breaking a lot of these old paradigms and and programs. And then I received the song Sowing the Seeds of Love by Tears for Fears. And then I was getting messages that the energy is going to be shifting, okay? A lot of the divine feminine energy has been focused very much on the divine masculine, right? You meet your twin, you get thrown into that really high freaking vibrational love. The divine masculine energy goes back into his slumber. The divine feminine energy does not. So she's stuck with this awareness and longing and desire for whatever period of time, years, right? This energy, this focus collectively now is going to be shifting. And the divine masculine is starting to feel this shift of the divine feminine energy focusing elsewhere, not on him. And he's like, hey, wait a second. What's freaking so much better than drooling over me? Right? Getting that kind of like attitude here, like energetically, like not consciously, but energetically. So then this then in turn sends the masculine energy into this like seeking, like what's going on over there, right? And the song that came through after depicting this was really weird because it was a Led Zeppelin song, Whole Lot of Love. And I found it hilarious because in that song it says, you've been coolin' and I've been drooling. So it's like, you're cooling off, you're not as focused on me anymore, and now I'm feeling the need to come, you know. Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was laughing. So then I was getting the okay, so this will be bringing up loss for some, all right? So the divine masculine energy will be going through waves of loss or question. Some of them will be feeling the fear of loss quite substantially. And they don't want to lose the feminine. Like they don't want to, like he knows he wants her and feeling this is going to be, this energy was setting the stage for him, this heart opening more and more, okay? So starting to feel more of the love, starting to bring him back into that more energetic place that when the twins met, right? Starting to bring more of that love in. But being tied at the same time to these expectations, these limitations, these negative patterns, old paradigms, beliefs, in many cases situations that they are in that are restricting them, where they can't go towards the feminine right now. And the fear of stepping out, the fear of even expressing. So not even considering expressing at the time of the Sag moon. That the Sag energy was just bringing up the awareness of the programs and opening the heart a little bit further for the divine masculine to start receiving a little bit more divine feminine energy. So in his present state, in his present situation, not being able to see a way of following his heart, so he has to hide his love away. Doesn't feel safe. Doesn't feel it's safe to show it. So this was depicted by Hide Your Love Away by the Beatles. And then for a long time, I was getting a message on one group of masculines in specific that are still stuck. And I've been getting this message for, gosh, well over a year, if not a couple, in karmic situations. in karmic contracts. And then in March, I actually got the message that the karmic contracts have ended. And it's just a matter now of clearing away the debris, the energetic debris. Sometimes we get stuck in cycles of this energy if it's been a long time karmic contract. And that's what this message was specific for. I was getting a group of twins that had been stuck in long time karmic contracts. These were contracts of 20 to 35 years in a particular karmic pattern, situation, or relationship. For the masculines, many of them were in karmic relationships, okay? Karmic marriages, things like that. And really, really long term. If that is your situation, the divine feminine in that group will also have been in some sort of karmic turmoil for the last like 20 to 35 years, okay? These are a smaller group of twins within a large wave of twins. And what I was getting was they were born the mid-1950s to mid-1970s. So they would be like mid-40 to mid-60. And so this is harder for them because these are long-term karmic contracts. These are, and the divine feminine would have had a struggle herself for the best part of 20 years. And this would have been either some sort of karmic situation with family or with health or with money or with work, etc. Okay? That she would have been working through. These karmic contracts have come to an end, and I'm getting that this energy coming through now with the eclipse is going to help eclipse out a lot of those energetic patterns and programs that were developed from being in such a long time karmic situation. I was also getting, and I've been getting this for a couple of years, is that for this particular group, one of these twins, at least one of the two, have also incarnated into a negative blood type, and that these blood types are responsible for the ancient lineage clearing beyond ancestral, okay? Ancient galactic clearing. This is a blueprint, a signature that they carry within their divine blueprint. And this was a job taken on by the oldest, most advanced souls of the groups, of the twins. The archetype may not feel powerful amidst all of this lower vibrational energy and experiences, but they are very old and advanced. They are like beyond masters. So they're like an aspect of them is an ascended master, but their soul development is beyond that. And I was getting like a part of Ashtar Command and things like that with aspects of themselves in really high dimensions. And so as twins volunteered for this Earth mission and are like really struggling with a lot of these lower energies, really struggling with this karma, and really felt, different as a child, especially a youth is what I get, like those teenage years, kind of like unsure all the time, not really sure where you fit in, what direction you need to go, and highly influenced because the lower vibrations, those lower vibrations and emotions and stuff like that, patterns and programs, they're a denser energy. Lower vibrations are a denser energy, and this is why they're harder to break out of. And so this is all a part of that. I was getting the RH negative bloodlines are connected to like the Holy Grail lines. I don't know why that was random, but that was what I was getting. And the fall of Atlantis, going all the way back to the fall of Atlantis, into when man fell from oneness back like into duality consciousness for this 26,000 year cycle, and the pain of dropping into duality from oneness. These twins were here for that transition. And so it's like a matter of clearing this energy in the RH negative line was all tied to these long karmic cycles, is what I was getting, okay? So all you negative blood types out there, thank you for your help. I'm an AB neg, so I get it. And this rung really true for me. Okay, so, and I do feel this energy slowly breaking down in my life now, thank gosh. Yay, thank you, universe. So this is a message I've been receiving for a few years about RH negative. But the message of still stuck in judgment and self-judgment and hiding the love from the divine feminine is what I was getting, okay, with this. I was also getting that these karmic situations, they're not abusive, okay? So if there's like a masculine or yourself, if you're a feminine, because I know the numbers out there, there's like going to be 90% feminine watching this. So forgive me if I tell it from a feminine point of view. But okay, if your masculine is in a karmic relationship or yourself, all right, these are not abusive relationships. These are not unbearable relationships. They are blasé. They are tolerable. They are passionless and distant emotionally type relationships. They carry codependent type patterns within them. Passion is false or faked for a better word, okay? It's very physical, and the soul knows this. This is like and the soul knows this. So they are in a state of sadness, a lack of intimacy, loneliness, just blasé, right? Come day, go day, God send Sunday, that type of thing. And there's consistent issues. These are relationships that have been in trouble and have been breaking down over the last decade. There's been consistent issues, consistent fights, consistent trust issues, consistent envy, jealousy, all this type of stuff that has manifested through it, but it's not like unbearable. It's consistent, but it's not constant. See what I'm saying? And these divine masculines are having a very difficult time following their heart, trusting what their intuition is telling them. And the reason for that is because they've been in such a long time karmic pattern. That's all they know. That's all they know. And so to them, they would have seen certain patterns in their family and their upbringing, and then they would have seen it happening with their own marriage, and so, or relationship or situation. And so they feel like all go that way. You know, you lose the passion, you lose the love, you lose the desire, you lose that I want to be with you feeling. And so having a hard time trusting it's going to be different somewhere else. I'm really picking up a huge fear of loss. And this loss seems to be very materialistic, very like money. And money, I just see dollar signs. So this is like fear of material loss. And if these patterns have been going on, if these karmic situations are 20 to 35 years in the making, this is like, there's going to be property, there's going to be kids, there's going to be mortgages, there's going to be investments, there's going to be pensions, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. And so you can understand the fear of this if they don't know or don't see or haven't known anything different, to be able to trust that intuition and follow their heart. I do believe that it's shifting. I do believe that this energy is shifting. I believe it has been shifting, and it is shifting. But to these masculines right now, they can't see a way out, right? They can't see a way out without all of this loss. And because they don't trust the divine feminine energy, they're having a really tough time. That's what I've been getting on that, okay? Or what I was getting on that back when it was thrown at me a couple of weeks ago in the midst of all this. And then I was getting Hold Me Now by the Thompson twins. And that came in with the message that, like, overall, they miss and want to be with the divine feminine. They dream about her. They visualize a life with her. They want to embrace her and love her. There's soul acknowledgement of, oh my gosh, the soul is like, oh my gosh, like, wow, we're in a mess here, you know? How do we fix this? How do we get back to each other? You know, we're both searching for happiness where we are. We're not going to find it where we are. And really the soul now really becoming aware of this and wanting to integrate more into the masculine and start pushing things along here. And consciously the masculine knows that when he's with this particular feminine, this particular person, and when I say feminine, it could be a guy, right? Whoever's embodying the feminine energy or processing through the feminine energy, they feel healed. They feel that connection. They acknowledge consciously that they love to be around this person. That's all they know that, but they don't know why. They don't know what it means, and they don't trust that it's not going to change. See what I'm saying? So, and this was depicted by Hold Me Now by the Thompson twins. So that's what came in with the Sag, with the Sag full moon. And then with the new moon in Cancer coming in now, is like a continuation. That energy was setting the stage here for some of this energy is what I was getting. When I did my meditation, it was really, really dark. And I wasn't really seeing anything except for this like dark swooshing. And then all of a sudden I heard, "Men, secure this ship." And the dark swooshing turned into like giant waves. And I started seeing this little tiny boat in the middle of it all. And then my vision zoomed in. So then I was like on the boat. And all of these men were running around trying to secure all of these objects, tying things down, trying to save what they can. And really having a tough go at it. Okay, if you can picture like a movie scene of a boat being tossed and turned up to like 90-degree angles and people being thrown everywhere, that's what it was like. And then there was like this hatch that opened, and this woman, a feminine energy, came up, and she had like a lantern, and she was like half in, half out, and she had this lantern, and she's holding this lantern up, and she's shouting, "Come inside," right? Come inside. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's not important. Sorry, guys. It's not important. Let it go. Let it go. It's not important. The masculines reached out and grabbed her arm, and she had a hold of this masculine. And then each masculine started grabbing a hold of the other, and she had all of these masculines in a line, all holding on to each other. And she started pulling them in one by one by one by one. And there was still some at the end trying to grab shit. Typical. So the first masculine, he was saying like, "Don't let me go. Don't let me go," because she was holding them there for a little bit before she started pulling them in. So, Anyways, what this vision represented to me was the divine masculine starting to trust a little bit more the divine feminine, number one. It was also representing to me the eclipse coming in to wipe out all the shit that didn't happen. Eventually, like after she was started pulling these masculines in, actually, then the waves stopped, the sun came out, and the ship was like down to the bare bones. Like it was floating, it was still afloat. But you know, if you picture one of those old like pirate ships, it was kind of like that. So all the cumbersome stuff that would act as like a break, right? A break in the wind or whatever. It was all wiped away. It was just like this plank boat with this hatch, and everybody was in this hatch, and they came out. And the boat was still afloat, and it was able to move and maneuver, and it was able to move and maneuver way faster because it didn't have all this cumbersome stuff attached to it. So so that was really interesting. So I took that as the representation of the eclipse energy eclipsing out things that we think that we need and we want, things that we think we have to do that we don't, right? Those things, these patterns that the Sag moon energy is pushing in us, that we've just integrated in us, those patterns coming to the surface to be seen. So the eclipse energy then comes in behind and helps clear them out, helps us release. And with this being in, and like right on top of new moon in Cancer, I do feel that it's going to have a lot to do with relationships and family, because that's what the Cancerian energy is about, relationships and family. And I think Capricorn comes into play. So it could have something to do with power and desires, and also the negative Capricorn attributes, which are like codependencies and addictions. And so this all makes sense to me, because I think it's like this Capricorn Cancer conjunction thing that's been going on for a little while, or opposition thing that's been going on for a little while. And the partial lunar eclipse that happens mid-month is in Capricorn again. So again, codependencies, patterns, all being released. Okay, well, not all, but you know, as many as you can release, right? So and then as I was receiving like messages throughout the week, I was getting the divine masculine is noticing, feeling more of the divine feminine's love, more heart opening, pushing in and pushing out some of these lower vibrations to the surface, forcing him to face some of his shadows, some of his fears, some of his doubts, some of his worry. I do feel I was feeling a lot of anxiety, actually, when I was connecting to the divine masculine energy, a lot of anxiety. So I think there's going to be a lot of like fear of these releases, fear of, and I was getting like fear of change, fear of unknown, and especially connected to material things, because I keep seeing dollar signs, and just stuff, like material stuff, properties, investments. So again, this fear of loss, right? Wanting to follow the loving light of the divine feminine, but being afraid to. And there was an undertone of all this, of this money, of this fear. They want to follow, but they're just like, they're so afraid to, right? So this is happening energetically for most. Some it's coming into conscious awareness, All depends where you are, right, on your journey here. But they like want to know where Divine Feminine is getting all of her power and all of her wisdom, and he wants to follow. He wants to follow that light. And some of them are reminiscing. Oh, and that came in with, what did it come in with? Oh, Baby, I Love Your Way by Peter Frampton. And then some Divine Masculine are reminiscing about that high vibrational love, that early time when they first met, before all the fears and worries and real world kicked in. And in many cases, if one was in a karmic situation before, the perception of being stuck where they are or in the situation they are came crashing down around them, right? So remembering the magic between the two, remembering that high vibe feeling. And in some cases, they are receiving those energetic bursts of love, raising their vibration, forcing out some lower vibrations for release, and starting to acknowledge consciously how they felt when they were around you, really starting to take note of that, some of them, okay? Others, it'll be a few months, and others a year or so. Depends on where you are, right? So, but for the group that I was picking up on, okay? Like remembering that high energy, that high vibe love that's created just when you're together, and just the calmness and soothingness of each other. And he wants to tell her, like before with the Sag moon, I was getting a message that like he's starting to become aware of this, but he's still not thinking about expressing it. There's too much fear in the way. Now I'm getting the message that he wants to express it. He can't, but he really wants to. Whereas before, he was like, I don't know if I want to express it. But now he's like, he wants to express it, or he's going to be wanting to express it over the next several weeks. Because remember, this energy is coming in, right? It's coming in and affecting going forward. So it's not like right now. This is like a few weeks, right? So wanting to tell her, wanting to express what he feels, and he wants her to continue moving forward, because energetically, like soul-wise, at soul level, soul knows like she has to move forward and even appear to be going away from him, energetically even, for the energy to want to follow, right? So this energy, the moons and eclipses, give opportunity for choices as well. So Divine Feminine, you have to choose to stay in your path, because shit's going to come up, right? Shit's going to come up, and you have to choose to stay in your path. There's going to be tests, choices that are coming up, decisions that you need to make for yourself that are going to set the tone for how this is going to play out over this coming galactic year. This is a big energy. This is the end of a galactic year coming into a galactic year, right? The galactic year ends, I think it's the end of July. And the 8-8 portal, the Lion's Gateway, is a new galactic year. So it's like the 7-7 portal of July is like the last big push of energy within a galactic year. And then the 8-8 portal opens up a new galactic year. So there may be decisions that need to be made, things that come up. But the Divine Masculine is like starting to become aware that their love, whatever it is that's between the two of them, has like this energy on its own. It's like an entity on its own, because it is. It's the two of you together, right? Two halves of one soul. So it is an energetic being on its own, and he's starting to feel this that this is a living thing. This is a living thing. I can't escape it. It's living. And this was depicted in the song Living Thing by ELO, Electrical Light Orchestra. So weird, because I got Electrical Light Orchestra song this time, and then I think it was a couple months ago I got an Electrical Light Orchestra song as well. I didn't even know the name of the band. Like, I mean, I'm not that familiar with the band, like, really. There's a couple of songs I know of theirs, but I didn't even know it was like that was the name of their band. I had to Google the lyrics that were stuck in my head. Anyway, then I received, and this was such a cool freaking message, okay? And just talking now about the galactic year change, I'm realizing it's had more significance to it than what I realized in the first place. But I was receiving messages, okay, that the divine feminine energy is on the rise, and that the Sag moon was like opening the door. The Sag moon and this Cancer eclipse is like opening the door for more divine feminine energy to come in, which is like really cool, because that was like kind of depicted in my vision, the divine feminine opening that latch, coming up and grabbing a hold of the masculine here. So the divine masculine archetypes are going to be integrating more of the higher self knowing, okay? Integrating more of the soul map, for better lack of words, to help align them more, to give them more clarity, more understanding of self, of purpose, of their mission, pointing them towards the direction, even if it's not consciously, energetically, towards their greater healing, their higher good, their greater love, their purpose. This is opening the door to ancient wisdom, guys. Ancient wisdom is going to be coming in with this. For divine feminines that are aware and awake and are tapping into their intuition already, you're going to start remembering things. You're going to have soul memory coming in to allow us to remember other things. This is going to help redirect people into their soul missions and purposes and life paths. If you've been struggling to figure out what your purpose is here, what your mission is here, what is it you really connect with, this is going to be opening that door for you. So it's really, over the next several months, really take notice to the direction you're being pushed in, because that is opening ancient knowledge to you on what it is you do, on what your energy does, on what your purpose is here. Right? And it's drawing the divine masculine closer to the divine feminine, right? Seeing this light from her and wanting to follow her in that direction, feeling and needing the desire to follow her and being close to her. But more divine feminine energy coming in, and him realizing at soul level that him pushing this soul integration further and being able to experience things with his feminine that he couldn't experience with anybody else. And this was all depicted in this song, Africa by Toto. And this is so cool, because in this song is about a missionary in Africa who is waiting on the arrival of his beloved. She's taking a plane to him. So it's the divine feminine coming in. And he's being grateful. He's saying that he blesses the rain down in Africa. And in Africa, they bless everything, right? And this rain representing washing away of old wounds, of clearing. It's Gaia's way of clearing energy, right? The thunder, the lightning, the rain, it's cleansing. And so this was all depicted in this song. It was a really cool song. I suggest you guys, I'll try and put the links to all the songs in the comments if I remember. And click on this Africa song and listen to it in this context of the galactic year ending and the new one beginning, and the first year of the divine feminines magnetic charge taking over, as opposed to the electric 26,000 year charge that we have been in, cycle that we have been in. And listen to it in that context, because it's really freaking amazing. It's blowing my mind right now. Wow. Yeah. Okay, but grateful for the rain, grateful for the cleansing, for the healing, and wanting to do things with her, wanting to experience these things with her that he can't experience with anybody else, right? So I'm also seeing right now that this line of masculines could also be the calling in of soul fragments that have been left in wounded situations or from wounded situations, calling in of your soul fragments that have been left behind to bring you to a more whole place, is what I'm getting right now. So that's kind of cool. So then I was getting that the divine masculine energy release of regret and loss and grief is going to be significant. Feeling the pain that the divine feminine had been in when she was going through this process, or has been going through this process over the last several years. For some, they have not been listening to their guidance or their intuition, trying to shun it, trying to ignore it, trying to block it out. Even if they've been feeling it, because of these fears of these programs, limitations, expectations, financial loss, all of that. Like, I'm really getting material loss, like it's significant. And that this eclipse energy is set to really move this along, okay? To really push a lot of these fears out that have been holding you back in whatever situation it is for you, whether it's like a health issue or a work issue or a relationship issue, whatever it is, really pushing you past those fears towards your soul path, towards your divine partner. The song that came in with this was Connie Francis, Who's Sorry Now, and that was hilarious. Because it was like, and I don't even know why I'm laughing, because like, I mean, I'm fighting karmic patterns myself, so I know I'm going to be affected by this in a big way. But it's like the divine feminine energy saying to the divine masculine, I tried to show you, tried to tell you, you wouldn't listen to me. Well, who's sorry now? That's what the song is about. So it was kind of cute. So then I was getting a message in regards to that karmic situation again, and I was getting many of the karmic energy patterns will be getting eclipsed out. The eclipse will be pushing harder, especially on the stuff held in the divine masculine energy. This is a big push on your divine masculine energy. Whether you're a masculine or whether you're a feminine, you've got the divine masculine energy within, right? You have both energies within you. Every human being has both energies within. So this is really going to be pushing hard on things that you have been holding on to through your divine masculine energy, right? Through your action, active, oriented energy, right? So those fears, it's going to be pushing on those fears, on those cycles. Don't expect things to just, the eclipse to come in and just, that's not the way it works. It's still a process. Like I said, there's cycles. And what I'm getting is like the first glimpses of manifestation of this will probably start appearing after the Lion's Gate. So I'm getting like mid to the end of August is like the early time. Really, September, October is going to be for physical manifestation. That's where you're going to start to see physical manifestation. Okay, so the eclipse I'm getting is going to shine on the soul, push the soul integration of the divine feminine energy, wisdom, ancient knowledge to create action, right? Which comes as it manifests out. So I feel many fears connected to money, physical things, physical loss, fear of aligning to the heart. This is going to cause great fear There's going to be lots of anxiety, lots of reactive energy. I get a feeling I was getting a feeling when I was connecting to the masculine energy in regards to this. It's almost like they wish they could dip their toe in the pool type thing. Almost like they wish they could try it on for size. It's almost like they know what they want, but they're afraid to go after it because of what they know of the pattern that's always been for them. They don't feel it's going to be any different, right? They don't feel it's going to be any different. So it's like July with the solar eclipse and then a lunar eclipse. It's like this is like an energetic trigger of physical manifestations to come that will start to show for most in the next 3-month cycle, towards the end of the next 3-month cycle. I'm getting after Lionsgate, 8/8 portal, mid-August to late October. When I tap, there's a lot of anxiety, fear, frustration, confusion. They will feel this, and you, spiritually first. So it's like a spiritual battle is going to be going on over the next few months, and then things will start to be manifesting out. So a lot of inner conflict to start manifesting change. I was picking up relationships, work, karmic situations, a big fear of loss. There's a lot of pain associated to this. I was feeling a lot of family associated to this. It's a big shift. It's going, some are going against family, going against old programs, expectations, beliefs, paradigms. But it has to change in order to move forward onto the soul path. So more influenced by the soul, okay? I was also seeing in some of these cases a very dominant male. A very dominant male who is an influence in this situation and is in some ways a fear because they don't want to let this dominant male down. They have a lot of respect for this dominant male. It's like coming across as like a father, grandfather type energy. So that could be like father, older brother, uncle, grandfather. Well, probably not grandfather for most, because for this particular group, I am getting like mid-40s and up. Father-in-law maybe, uncle, father, older brother even. But there's wealth. There's wealth or money attached to this person. So it's almost like an inherited thing or an inheritance, maybe, is what I was getting. I don't know. See how that resonates. Let me know in the comments down below. So those are the messages, guys, that I've been getting regarding twins, twin flame energy, twin souls, all of that good stuff. And this is now a 45-minute video already. So you know what? I'm going to pull some general. Look at this. This is from the pencil on the damn notebook. Look at this, all this black. Oh. Okay, I'm going to pull some overall energies for Ascension. And then in a separate video, I think I'll go into more specifics, the divine masculine, divine feminine breakdown. But for now, I'll just pull, because it is 45 minutes already, 2 months of messages or 2 moons of messages in there. So, give me a sec. Call upon the support, assistance of my spirit guides, angels, and higher self. Give me grounded, centered, intuitive, and insightful. I ask to be used as a divine channel, so I can best give the messages to those who need to hear them the most. Please and thank you. I place a circle of protection around myself in this area. All negative energy must be transmuted into the divine love and light. Please and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Okay. So we'll pull some overall energies, overall Ascension energies. For those in Ascension, twin flames, twin souls, divine soulmates. Four twin flames, twin souls, divine soulmates, please. For those in Ascension, what do they need to be aware of? New moon in Cancer and eclipse energy, please. That's the theme. Okay, so we have nothing is set in stone. Step out of your comfort zone. A new start is coming. Oh my God. And at the bottom of the deck, guys, we have expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. Wow, that's freaking awesome. We have, wow. We have a new moon, a new start is coming, and new moon eclipse. Both came out together in the same freaking reading. How awesome is that? Considering we have a new moon, July the 2nd in Cancer, that is also going to be a solar eclipse day. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's freaking awesome. All right. Okay. Spirit never blows my mind. The thing about spirituality, though, is like a lot of people believe, and I used to believe that spirituality is something you believe, like a religion. People dump it in the religion category, and it's absolutely not a religion. It's an expansion of consciousness. That's what spirituality is. It's a higher consciousness, understanding a higher consciousness perception or perspective. And I think shaking the world out of that old paradigm of religion belief versus spirituality, versus believing in yourself, believing in energy, believing in what you know and what's coming through to you personally, and what is resonating through you and with you is just completely different than adopting a belief. And it's not that religion is bad. The perception or perspective of man when they recorded certain things was their perception and perspective and conscious understanding or awareness at that time, right? And there's many passages in the Bible that relate to spirituality 100%, but the perception and perspective and conscious understanding of man at the time of recording this information was altered. Their understanding altered certain meaning. Certain things were put into a certain perspective. I believe that as our consciousness expands as a planet, there's going to be 1,000,001 freaking things coming out in the Bible where it's like, because I already see it. Like I do it myself, where it's like, oh my gosh, that's what that means. That's what that means. Because when Jesus, for example, came to the earth over 2,000 years ago, which, by the way, because when Jesus came to the earth like 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago, he brought with him in his divine blueprint, he was a starseed like us. In his divine blueprint, brought with him the energy of Christ consciousness, the energy of being able to expand in consciousness. And man has slowly, Knight of Pentacles, started to come into that energy. But this ascension preparation goes back so long ago, guys. So long ago. It just wasn't as many of us here to alter or change the paradigm. The paradigm has shifted slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly. Look at all the progress in just the last 50 years alone. And so the onslaught of twin flames, of star seeds, of twin souls here now is because of the shift, the true shift from the energy that the earth has been charged with and been provided with from the electric charge to the divine feminine magnetic charge. And so we're here to really set that groundwork, to start breaking the paradigms, right? But anyway, I just wanted to say that about spirituality. It's not a belief, it is a consciousness. All right. So nothing is set in stone. Mutable moon. So I believe this is referring a lot to a lot of these limits, a lot of these programs that we have been running through. Look how cool that is. See that? That's what I was freaking seeing. That's the vision I had. That was like what the sea was doing. Only it was like way stormier. Like it didn't have a nice starry sky with a nice moon up there. But that's what I was seeing. So nothing is set in stone. Everything can change. The mutable water energy, that's actually Piscean. Piscean is the mutable water sign. Cancer is the cardinal sign. And the cardinal signs are, well, they're not fixed signs, are they? But they're not mutable either. So the cardinal signs kind of go with the flow. They go with the collective. So let's say, for example, 80% of the collective was at this point, then the sign of Cancer would be with the collective, right? Whereas Pisces is a little bit ahead of the collective because they're mutable, they change easier, they change quicker. When I say they, I mean the energy of Pisces. And then the fixed signs have a harder time if you're more in the fixed energy because they're more traditional based, more staying in the line. So this is telling me here that this mutable moon coming up in Cancer is telling me this is a collective shift, right? Nothing is set in stone. And this is collective now. This is not like your own energy, working through your own energy, making the changes on your own, clearing the energy yourself, like really getting to work. This is like a collective shift. Is what I'm getting from that. Step out of your comfort zone. So don't be afraid to break free of these beliefs, these programs, these limitations, these patterns, these expectations, right? Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to take a risk, take a chance. You can't always know the outcome of something when you set out to start it. So take a risk, take a chance, because if you're not happy where you are, or you're not fulfilled doing what you're doing, or with who you are with, or working the job that you are working, if you're not happy and fulfilled, if you're not gaining anything really from it, if you're not expanding, if you're not growing, if you're held down, if your light is extinguished, step out of your comfort zone, because that is a sure tell sign that you are not where you are supposed to be. And when I say that, everybody is where they are supposed to be, but you are not supposed to stay where you are, put it that way. That things are supposed to change, that you are supposed to change, evolve, grow, expand. Do something different, be with somebody different. It's a part of your soul growth, a part of your soul path, because a new start is coming. A new start, a new beginning, brand new energy. And this, like I said, this is like this huge significant shift right now from the electric to the magnetic charge. This is the first full year of divine feminine energy. So much is changing, so much newness is happening. Over the next decade, there's going to be so many changes. Oh my gosh, I can't even put into words how much is going to change out of the old ways and the old paradigms. How many more people are going to be waking up and starting to embrace the oneness, the unity consciousness. So expect powerful change. Stepping out of your comfort zone, giving you a new start and a very powerful change underway within you, within your being, within your reality. Right? Let's see what that's going to be affecting. I'm expecting to see something about family, relationships, sacral, something like that come out, but we'll see. That was not a very good shuffle. Couldn't get them to fit. Okay. Relationships. What did I just say? Intimacy, freedom, acceptance, trust. And that's what I was saying about that group in the karmic pattern. Like, they're not accepting, they're not trusting. For those that are feeling their intuition, not all are, okay? But lacking freedom and intimacy in relationships, and accepting when something isn't good and you have to move on. These hands here, if you take a really close look, see his knuckles? They're all beat up, right? This is accepting when something just isn't working, trusting the information that you are getting. If something isn't working, it isn't working. And that goes for all relationships, not just romantic relationships, but all relationships, right? Friendships, partnerships, romantic relationships, family relationships, siblings, like all of it. And then we have throat chakra. So there's the expression I was talking about. I was saying divine masculine really wants to express but feels stifled, right? He doesn't trust the divine feminine energy right now because of what he's been going through. Well, the ones in that karmic situation don't. Like, I mean, there are some who are starting to trust the divine feminine energy, but not very many are expressing. And so this throat chakra to me is like talking about the expression, talking about being able to speak your truth, the discernment through the heart energy, really starting to feel what is true for you, and being able to express it. And we get the heart chakra next. So discerning the truth through the heart, opening the heart further, allowing more divine feminine energy into the heart, so there's more discernment, right? There's stronger discernment, being able to express it in regards to your relationships. Let's get one more. And we have the mind, openness, flexibility, imagination, learning. This is the ancient knowledge coming in. This is the openness of the divine feminine energy, the flexibility, the expansion that is coming in for everybody. Higher knowledge, higher understanding. Really tapping in. This is like your third eye, right? This is like part of your intuition. Being able to see beyond the limits, beyond the boundaries. Being a Pisces, being able to see past that illusion, past that veil. Seeing and taking away from conversations and events something more than the physical representation of what happened. Because you're seeing beyond, you're seeing further, you're seeing and perceiving through more than one dimension at a particular point in time, right? Which is what a lot of the divine feminine energy is about. She's more multidimensional, more open to the flexibility of what is happening above and beyond, etc., right? What is happening behind the scenes? What is like she's good at discerning. The divine feminine energy discerns through the heart. Coming up from the solar plexus, what it is you really want, what it is you really need. Being able to discern the truth of whether you're going to be able to get it in your present situation or not. What needs to change, what needs to transform. Where do you need to step outside of your comfort zone? Right? What are you holding on to? Because nothing is set in stone. So powerful changes, new beginnings coming through discerning the truth, expressing the truth, getting right with your relationships. And if your relationships aren't working, moving on to relationships that do work, that allow you growth, expansion, openness, flexibility, that don't have you held down by limitations. And distrust, envy, jealousy, whatever the case may be. Allowing for growth. Openness is also about the heart being open, allowing more divine feminine energy in through the heart space. Bringing you out of a state of confusion in regards to your relationships. This indicates somebody that has been going back and forth, back and forth. Should I stay? Should I go? Do I want this? Do I want that? and knowing the truth, but having fears about how to get there. The throat chakra, growth, being able to express. And this is the heart chakra here with the growth. This is a heart chakra card on top of the throat chakra here. So discerning the truth. Having your expression come from the heart, growing, expanding, knowing what the truth is, coming out of a state of confusion in regards to certain relationships. And like I said, this doesn't have to be romantic, but can be. And abundance here. This is your solar plexus, your power center, where you're trying to hold control, trying to hold on to control of possibly money, material wealth, things like that, and then starting to see the truth of the matter. Starting to see the truth that, you know, these things can be obtained in other ways. If there's a fear of loss of material things, material wealth, there's always an opportunity to rebuild things. There's not always an opportunity to rebuild love. So growth, about how you perceive abundance. What is abundance to you? Is it just material? Because abundance isn't all-encompassing to me. And then we have release. So, and this is on the mind. So this is releasing those beliefs that are, a lot of them could be tied to abundance, to the material, because the abundance can be the material world, right? Abundance can be just like material stuff and trying to control. And the way that you see things here in this card, right? This guy, he's got his beer, all right? He's holding his head, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He loses his hat. He loses his money. His chest is empty here. And then you've got this little girl over here who is like putting a chain down the grid to get the penny that got lost. Her box has monies in it. She's got a nice little house here. So how do you perceive abundance? How do you perceive luck? How do you perceive wealth coming your way? How do you perceive the power of being able to draw abundance to you? Right? So releasing the inflexibility of the mind, these beliefs, these limitations that we need to release and step outside the comfort zone, trusting the heart to bring in our abundance, trusting that the heart will provide what we need. And the law of attraction says, yes, it will. If you are in the flow of happiness, of your happiness being true to yourself, doing what your heart is telling you to do, the law of attraction says you will attract your abundance. And that has been proven. But you have to not just think it, you have to feel it. So if you are in a place where you're miserable, getting into that energy of drawing abundance to you, being in that feeling of abundance is going to be a lot harder than if you're in a place, working in a place, or in a family situation or a partnership situation, whatever the case may be, where you are happy and fulfilled and are easily being able to give and receive love in an open and flexible and expansive way, right? Where you don't feel like you're being judged and etc. And we have the God of Wisdom here. Again, this is that ancient knowledge coming in through the mind. The expansion, the mind expansion, right? coming in. Let's see what else we're going to get. And we have fear. So fear is going to be coming up. Fear is going to be coming up over the next little while. These are things you need to release, let go of, alter, change, transform, step out your comfort zone in, because the only constant in life is change, right? Even if you find you're perfect or what you think your perfect is, it's not going to stay perfect because it's going to change. So there's no such thing as perfect, right? There's no point in being a perfectionist because perfect will never be, because it'll never stay perfect. Oh, it was perfect, but then, because the only constant in life is change. So you have to be able to be flexible, be able to go with the flow, right? Be able to accept and be with people who are on that path with you, who are able to accept with you. So let me see if we can get some guidance from Gaia. Like I said, I'm going to keep this short, guys, on general energies, because I'll do separate videos on the individuals, or on the like divine masculine, divine energy, divine feminine separate. And I'll narrow it down to I'll do like how situations are playing out. A bunch of situations are playing out, not just the energy, but what's like going on in the physical. But I'm going to have to do it in separate videos. I'm not sure if it'll be today, so watch for it over the next few days. Okay. Messages for Ascension, please. Messages for Ascension, Eclipse. Okay, well, here we go. Loss and regret here. We have the 5 of water. So there's going to be some loss. There's going to be some regret. This goes on the fear, I'm sure. Loss, regret. And this fear, too, look, this is a divine masculine. I'm telling you, it's coming through the inner masculine. Loss, regret, fear, sadness, melancholy, forlorn, is going to be coming up. And there's going to be like fear and then this loss or regret. Or you may be feeling a loss or regret and so afraid to make a change. But your wisdom, your divine feminine energy coming in, saying, this is the way. Open your heart, expand your mind. Your abundance is coming, right? Put that fear aside. Put that fear aside. And we have the child. So Fool energy here. This is new beginning. This is free spirit. This is like, the way I'm seeing this is like the universe ripping you down. Ripping you down to the beginning, to a fresh start. To a free spirit, to a time where you weren't bogged down with limitations, expectations, social programming, religious programming, old paradigm ways and views, where you were free to make your own choice, to really live from your heart. So having to let go of these regrets, of this loss, of this sadness, whatever it is that comes up for you, bringing you back, releasing that old energy and bringing you back to a better place of being a free spirit, of being able to choose your path, a new direction opening up with the child, a brand new beginning here. So expect powerful change, a new start coming in, a brand new direction. This is also expression. It's your free spirit, right? Being able to choose your throat chakra and the flexible mind here, discerning your truth and going after it, going forward. Oh, wow. This is freaking amazing. We have the Maiden. Okay, we have Empress energy next. Wow. So the Maiden is, she rebirths. She gives life to, she gives life. She is abundant and she's nurturing and she's kind. She attracts all kinds of abundance to her. The animals flock to her feet. She doesn't have a care in the world because she's taken care of. Everything just flows to her. She is compassionate. She's nurturing. She's got it going on. She's sexy and she's beautiful. And she's magical, right? She can bring birth into the world. She can give life to the planet. And she's expansive and creative, nurturing at the same time. This can also be maternal energy that you're letting go of here, this grief, this loss, this sadness here. The child can represent the inner child, and the Maiden, a mother energy. You could be releasing, there could be some release of things you were taught or patterns you learned from your mother, through your mother, the maternal energy that you inherited in your DNA, releasing out could be something that is a factor here. We have 4 of air. So taking a break, taking time out, trying to get clear on your next move, trying to get clear, trying to figure out what you're trusting. The heart chakra is lit up here. The heart chakra, the clock, trying to figure out when, where, how, who, what. This is taking a break, taking a rest, putting all your ducks in a row, making a plan, sorting through your thoughts. This is your power center here. But it's your heart chakra that's lit up. It's your heart chakra that's on fire here. So discerning through your heart what you want and how you're going to get there. Making a plan for yourself. Making a plan for yourself. What is it you want to do next? Where is it you're going next? What does this mean? What does that mean? What is it that needs to change? Or what kind of decisions do you have to make after this process, right? After you have let go of this grief, of this loss, gotten past this fear, deciding you're taking a new direction here. God, I love cards. And we have the 8 of fire. This is fast moving energy. This is direction. This is Cupid's arrow. This is massive expression. This is taking action in something. So it's fast moving energy. It's on fire. It's going, it's gone, right? It's that kind of energy here. It can be communication. It can be spirit communication coming in. Taking a rest, taking a pause, trying to get clear, trying to understand something, and then getting the clarity on it, and boom, you're off to the races. This can also be communicating to somebody here, using your throat chakra, discerning through your heart about what it is you want, and where it is you want to go, releasing old patterns here and expanding your consciousness, being able to let go of old ways of being, old ways of thinking, what is keeping you stuck, being able to express it to somebody, whether it's expression of change, or whether it's coming towards somebody and expressing towards somebody. But this is expression, this is communication, it's taking action in some degree or some way. This can be physically moving, or this can be verbal communication or spiritual communication, receiving your spiritual wisdom, your insight, your guidance, that ancient knowledge we're going to be able to tap into. So I'm going to grab an Atlantis card and a New Earth card. New Earth, Atlantis. And then I'll end it there, guys. And I'll do the separate videos. And we have 12 chakras. Okay, I haven't gotten this card before. Hold on. Okay, 12 chakras. In golden Atlantis, every person had 12 chakras, the 12 strands of active DNA. When the frequency of Atlantis declined, 5 chakras closed down. Following this, 10 strands of DNA, 10 of the strands of DNA, which contained people's evolved psychic and spiritual powers, became dormant and are currently known as junk DNA. We are now called on to reactivate the chakras and our full DNA potential. This is what I was freaking talking about. This is what I was talking about, that ancient clearing through the DNA. Also, the everybody does have the 12 chakras, not just neg types, but this is what I was talking about, the ancient knowledge. This is the ancient knowledge coming in, guys, through the DNA strands, reactivating those chakras. You are reminded that you have enormous untapped spiritual and psychic powers. By relaxing deeply, you can start to activate your cellular knowledge and bring back the wisdom you held in Atlantis. This is the ancient freaking knowledge I was telling you about that came through in that freaking song. Oh my God. That came through in my messages and in that song, Africa. Your guidance is to access this potential, find time and space to become quiet and still so that you can remember who you truly are. Relax and tune into your potential. Wow, that's a freaking awesome message. That's a freaking awesome message. And that is totally what that song, Africa, was depicting. I was telling you, I was talking about ancient secrets or something. I can't remember the exact line. But yeah, wow. That's pretty cool. These cards are a bit flimsy. And they really say a lot on them. Just went flying. Some of them really say a lot. It's not too bad. 2 flew out though. Okay. So we have the only thing that ultimately matters is this. Can I sense my essential beingness, the I am, that mighty I am presence? That's what they're talking about here. Can I sense my essential beingness, the I am, in the background of my life at all times? Unless you know the basic mechanics behind the workings of ego, you won't recognize it, and it will trick you into identifying with it again and again. This means it takes you over, an imposter, pretending to be you. These are the limitations, the expectations, the beliefs that we take on and we adopt, and they rule our life. They become us. They become something that we firmly believe or need or think we have to live by. And it's not us. It's what's been passed on, what's been passed down. And then the thing that ultimately matters is this. Can I sense my essential beingness, the I am, in the background of my life at all times? So this is like really being in touch with who you are, really being in touch with the truth of your heart, trusting your heart. That's your I am presence right here. That's your truth, the truth of who you are. Not the junk, not the beliefs and the programs and all that we have been brought up with, taught, programmed in some way, shape, or form, but the I am presence of your heart, the truth of who you truly are. So I'll leave you guys with those thoughts. Grab a couple of starseed little cards here. One, Spirit? Just one? And I'm going to grab one of these Divine Oracle cards for a final word. Accept disappointments gracefully. So any loss, regret, fear that comes up, you didn't fail, okay? There's no such thing as failing. There's only such a thing as expanding and growing and learning. There is no such thing as failing. Inner worlds. Your eternal world is a reflection of your inner world. So your external world is a reflection of your inner world. So remember, everything is mirrored back to you. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. So don't be in a hurry. Don't try and rush the process. The energy, you can't be ahead of the energy. Okay? You can't. You have to be with the energy. You have to be working with the energy and through the energy at the same time as the energy is present. You can't be ahead of the energy. You can release things, you can trigger certain emotions and stuff out in yourself, but as far as like moving forward to a certain degree, the energy has to be with you. So if you trigger out certain emotions and stuff within yourself, because I do a lot of active healing, so like fear of the unknown was huge for me, huge. And that was triggered out of me, you know, energy healing, going in, yanking it, pulling it to the surface. And I'd feel that release, you know, 24, 48 hours later, I'd be feeling that release, the anxiety and the fear coming up. And this would be me right here. Ah! And I knew it was freaking coming. That's the funny part. I knew it was coming. But you can trigger stuff out. And it will move you along faster in linear time. Absolutely it will. But the energy that you are in, you have to still capture, you have to still allow the energy to catch up to you in certain ways to be able to move you forward. But at least that way, if you're like actively healing, when the energy catches up with you, you're moving forward, as opposed to the energy catching up with you and triggering you to heal, and then you're moving forward. You see what I'm saying? But you can't be ahead of the energy. So be patient. Allow things to unfold as they are supposed to unfold. Do active healing as much as you can. Bring yourself up in vibration as much as you possibly can in every way that you can. But then be patient for the manifestation of things. And like I said, everything seems to go in like 3-month cycles. Like we get the energy and it's like 3 months later we see evidence of the energy coming in. So this is where patience is needed. Right? A lot of people think you're going to do energy healing today, and then tomorrow or in a week, things are going to change. They're going to be in a completely different energy. Energy is layered. It's layered and layered and layered. All of this stuff, it's layered from lifetimes and from, years and years and years. So it does take time. It does take time, but when you notice those changes happening, when you notice the difference in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months, in 12 months, wow. Wow. That's all I can say. Seriously, I'm a totally different person than I was 2 years ago. And thank goodness for that. Because I was pretty low. I was pretty low. So, anyway. So there is the divine energy reading for the energy, okay? So I hope that guys gives you some, hope that gives you guys some clarity, some understanding, some insight into what's going on or what will be going on with you. Just remember when stuff comes up, like the Gaia of Tarot of Gaia says here, loss and grief, it could be connected to a maternal line, okay? It could. But loss and grief, let it go. Pick a new direction, pick a new path. Get in touch with your free spirit and choose to go towards something that's going to be more fulfilling, more abundant, that is going to be a new beginning, a new birth for you. Figure out a way. Take the time to figure out how you're going to move forward, how you're going to, which direction you're going to go. Okay, guys? So that's all. Sending you lots of love and light. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I thank you so much for your support. And always sending you lots of love and light and healing. Have a good one. Bye.